The Reverend Jesse Jackson, Baptist minister and two-time presidential candidate and so much more, died today at the age of 84.
That's right. So he helped propel the civil rights movement following the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And tonight, Atlanta leaders are now looking back on his life and legacy. Let's get out to 11 Alive's race, culture, and religion reporter Danielle Nottingham joining us now. So Danielle, what are people saying tonight?
Well, Ron and Jennifer, of course, people are very sad today, and we spoke with Ambassador Andrew Young and current and former Atlanta mayors. And Ambassador Young called Jackson his brother and said he made a tremendous impact on the world, and it broke his heart to witness his declining health.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
Jesse Jackson was never elected president, but he paved the way for someone who was.
We must have democracy and adequate representation. With a man our share.
The South Carolina native was by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s side during the Selma to Montgomery marches. That's where Ambassador Andrew Young says he first met Jackson in 1965.
This great big good-looking kid comes up and says, "You look exhausted." I said, "I am exhausted." And he said, "Look, you need to go get some sleep. I can man this barricade."
Ambassador Young and Jackson were also with King when he was gunned down in Memphis in 1968.
I dashed to the steps, and there's a picture of Brandon Young and I pointing in this direction because when the bullet came from here, not from there.
After MLK's death, Jackson helped carry the movement forward and entered politics, launching a bid for the 1984 Democratic presidential nomination, becoming the second African American to do so.
That's the way Jesse Jackson was. He was always stepping up. If you needed a leader, he'd step into it. And he'd have insight, he'd have a commitment.
He finished third in that primary and lost his second run for the White House in 1988, but he remained active in politics. Jackson was in Chicago when Barack Obama became the first African-American president in 2008. Former Atlanta Mayor Kasim Reed says Jackson will have a lasting impact on his life.
When I would see him and when we would pass, he would whisper in my ear, "The ground is no place for a champion." And so that's where my heart is today.
And Jackson was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2017, but it was later found out that he suffered from a rare neurological condition called PSP. He was also hospitalized with COVID in 2021, but he still led several get-out-the-vote efforts until his health declined. Just a big life. Live in the newsroom, Danielle Nottingham, 11 Alive News.
Okay, Danielle, thanks a lot. And by the way, folks, we have been following the tributes to Reverend Jesse Jackson throughout the day on 11 Alive Plus. Now, earlier today, we spoke with Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock about his message and how it's going to be carried on.
Reverend Jackson always centered human dignity, and he reminded us that change is not inevitable. It requires persistence. You have to be courageous. You have to be relentless, and you have to build the kind of coalition that's necessary to move all of us forward.
By the way, you can find more reaction from state and local leaders streaming right now on 11 Alive Plus.